will be very important for the students who are passing out this year, as well as the students who will be passing out in the coming years. So first lecture, which is this lecture, it will be addressing how to face interview confidently. Every student first interacts, or its first interaction with industry is through his interview. So how to address it confidently? This will be this session will be conducted by the industry expert, Mr. Abhay Singh Jagtap. Today he is here. Mr. Abhay Singh Jagtap, I will introduce him. Mr. Abhay Singh Jagtap, he is a B.Pharm, MBA in Human Resources. He completed his B.Pharm in 2008 and MBA in 2010. He holds 11 years of dedicated experience in areas of human resource development and people management. He has working experience in various levels of management, such as payroll, talent management, ESS, Fiori, SAP, process automation, employee management, compensation benefit, statutory compliances, legal, and boarding and onboarding and offboarding. So Mr. Abhay Singh Jagtap, he will be addressing in this session about how to face an interview. So I request all the students to listen to him very carefully, because this will be very helpful for you while interacting with for any job opportunity. Maybe it is marketing or production or any other. So I request Mr. Abhay Singh Jagtap sir to start his session.
Thank you, Sandeep sir, and good morning to everyone. It's a really pleasure and honor to be part of this particular session, wherein to interact with all of you. And I would not say I will be able to guide you, because I believe still I'm learning so many things in this particular highly competitive world. But I would definitely like to share some of the areas or some of the experiences what I had during this tenure of mine, wherein I have interviewed many candidates for various positions across the levels. As I was briefed by Atut sir, Dattatray sir, and Krishna sir, that most of these students are fresher. Yeah.
Jagtap sir, sorry to interrupt, but your video is not visible, sir.
Yeah, am I visible now, sir?
Yes,
yeah.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I was saying that as we are in a competitive world, and as I was briefed by your faculties that the most of the students are fresher, so I have designed my interaction and some of the slides which I'll be sharing with you. Basis the just hold for a sec. I'm just preparing my device. Okay. So I tried to design it around yes, as rightly said by Sandeep sir, that your interview is the stepping stone for you in any industry. Am I audible? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir. But there is
Right.
interference. I mean.
Okay, fine. So your resume will open a door for your interview, but your final selection will totally depend on the kind of interaction you had during your interview. So it's always important to prepare yourself well and to attend the interviews confidently, because unless and until you speak, you cannot sell yourself to the industry. It's basically, I'm telling more of the sales and this kind of concept, because I'm dealing with the sales people. So you have to sell yourself to the organization, your services, your qualities, your credentials to the organization. And unless and until you sell it well, you're not able to land up in a good organization with good amount of compensations. So it all starts with the preparation, because I believe most of us belongs to middle class Marathi background. We all studied in a Marathi medium, most of us, I believe. And the fundamental, I would say, error what we had about our English conversation, which is the most important part in today's, though I am very much proud of my mother tongue, but still, if you have to crack interview, you have to have a superb communication skills. And the basic error what we all did, or we all have, is our communication in English. So basically what we do, if I have to speak anything in English, I first uh, make it uh, develop that particular sentence or something in my mind in Marathi, and then translate it into English. And after translating, I speak to the next person. In the same way, I pursue next person's conversation as well. So when someone is talking in English, I first try to understand what he says. I translate that thing in Marathi, and then after understanding, I make my reply. Right. So in the whole process, our conversation or the flow of conversation get hampered. A, B, due to lack of vocabulary, we often fumble about few words. So if I have to say something about someone in Marathi, I have 10 different ways to say it. But in English, unfortunately, due to lack of vocabulary, I may not able to say that thing in most effective or most apt manner at that moment. Right. So these are the basic errors what we make during our conversations. So to avoid all these things, we need to ensure that we develop our communications, we develop our linguistic skills, so that we'll be able to face the interviews, right? So I'll just put up my screen. I hope you all are able to see the screen, right? So this all is the job market. Your resumes, your application, your qualifications, standouts. But what makes you enter into the organization is your interview. Yes, there are certain organizations which set some par scores or par levels for the interview criteria, as that you have to have minimum percentage during your 10th, 12th and graduation, or your diploma. And then only you'll be able to qualify for our interview rounds, but the entire thing get managed during your interviews. So to have the best interview as a fresher, what you need to do is first be on time. Time management is very crucial in terms of your interviews, because that makes your first impression to the employer. Get your things in the place night before the interview, including your clothes, your shoes, your CV and other documents, right? So that in the morning when you're getting ready for the interview, you're not miss out something. A, B, you're not supposed to get into the panic mode that I'm not finding this particular thing. Oh my God, where I've kept this particular thing. So this kind of thing will add up the panic state of psyche to you, and then you will end up having miserable interviews. So be prepared with all your documentations, your CVs, what kind of clothes you want to wear, have that iron, and keep down a safe place, your shoes polished, your resumes or printouts of your CV and resumes ready, and whatever other documents are required. Ensure that your phone is fully charged. It should not happen that your interviewer or your recruiter is trying to reach you and your number is A, not reachable, B, switched off. right? Because that may give an impression that, you know, you're trying to avoid the interview. And most importantly, please ensure that during the interview period, your mobile is on silent mode. Or better way, if you're in the interview process, get it switched off, because that will not add any kind of distraction to your interaction. The third most important thing is figure out the route to your interview venue, because if you're not aware about the demography of the area, you will you'll be searching for the route, going here and there, and then reaching late to the venue of your interview. The most important thing is you also have to keep in mind that if you are attending interview in an industry, in a production unit, generally the security scan and everything takes a while, because from your entrance till the venue where your interview is, you have to walk a long distance. A, B, the security procedures, your entry, your I-card, your visitor's I-card, visitor's pass, and everything. This will take minimum 15 minutes, right? And more importantly, when you go to that particular venue, you have to fill a few forms. So consider the time being consumed in all this process and ensure that you be there well before the timing, because that will give an impression to the employer that yes, you are very much looking forward to hold this opportunity, and B, you have a comfort zone that when you reach to the place, you fill up the form neatly, uh, you understand the situation, you get acclimatized to the atmosphere of that particular office or interview venue, and you will be more comfortable while answering the questions of the interviewer. What documents you should carry? Uh, First and foremost important thing is your resume. Please ensure that, as most of you are fresher and you will be facing your interviews for the first time in life, your resume should not be more than 2 pages. Two is the maximum number, what I'm saying. Ideally, it should be 1 page resume only, because uh, other than your academic credentials and few achievements in extracurricular activities, there is nothing you can place on your resume. Don't write any long essays. Just mention few skills of yours, what you as a person, and that's it. Means uh, making lengthy resumes at this level as a fresher will definitely not serve your purpose. I'll recommend to have printouts for all your resumes, because generally if you go for the photocopying of your documents, or particularly your resume, then quality looks cheap. And when I have your resume, before you open up your mouth, your resume speaks a lot about you, right? So ensure that your resume or CV, whatever we called is well designed and neatly printed and kept. Secondly, your academic certificates, including your mark sheet, degree certificates, and their photocopies. Also carry internship certificates. If you have done any internship in any industry, then have that thing with you. A must thing you need to carry along with you is your passport size photographs, because I believe 99% of the interview assessment forms include a space for your photograph. And if you say that no sir, I'm not carrying anything, it starts with your interaction starts with the apology, which is not I believe which is not the right thing to start your discussions with. And the identity proofs, of course, because at the security gate and everything, you need to give your identity proofs. uh, And to hold all these particular things together, you have to have a good folder. You should not carry that entire thing into a plastic carry bag, which makes noise at every single point of time when you're picking up and putting in and putting out the documents from the that particular bag. Right. One most important thing what I observed in my interaction with students or freshers, I would say, when they appear for the interview, is they're not carrying basic stationaries like their pen. Uh, if they are carrying, they are trying to get fancy with the interview, and pen makes your better impression. In that thought process, they bring some pen with the steel grip and everything, and which you are in already in a what I would say anxiety mode. You are sweating, and the steel grips makes you not put up a good handwriting into your form. And yes, your handwriting makes a good impression as well. So have a pen with which you are comfortable with. This might appear as a very basic and very small thing for you, but yes, it makes a lot of difference, because when I take your form in my hand, uh, your handwriting makes a lot of difference for me to judge yourself. If you have filled up the form neatly, without any scratching, or going without any out of any box or kind of thing, that gives me a different impression. Secondly, why you have to have your academic certificates and documents readily available with you, because you have to fill up your details, your marks of your 10th 12th degree, diploma, in some cases, or for all 4 years or 2 years of your course. So in that thing, when you keep something blank, or you mention something as an approximate thing, it will create a different impression to the interviewer. So ensure that all these things are ready with you, so that when you're filling up the form, you will fill it up confidently, neatly, and cleanly. I would not say that you have to have marvelous handwriting, but it should be readable to the next person. It should not be the doctor's prescription, what we pharmacists sadly have to read every single time and try to understand what the doctor have written. Right? Jokes apart, uh, these preparations will definitely help you to move at ease before the interview. Most important thing, dress code. uh yes, it goes without saying that you have to be in formals for your interviews. I'm sorry, I'm wearing casual today because it's Friday in office. We have to be there into the casuals. But when you are entering into the room, your overall appearance, what kind of dress you are wearing, what kind of apparels you are holding, makes your impression to the interviewer. So all these things are very small things, and these are the uh, uh, areas which you have to take care very seriously, because before you open your mouth, all these things are going to make your impression to the interviewer. And if you failed here, however well your communication skills are, how good your answers may be, but that if I have a bad impression in my mind at very first impression, then that will definitely not go well till the end. Right? So you have to dress according to the industry. So I'll elaborate it more. Like if you're attending an interview for any IT processes or any sales kind of interview, then you have to wear a tie, right? But if you're going in a manufacturing industry or any other industry, tie may not be a mandatory requirement, but yes, you have to wear a neatly ironed and clean formal apparels. For men, it will be like formal shirts, which goes for the linings, or plain shirts with soft colors, and trousers. For ladies, it might be a Indian formals as well, uh, kurtis and salwar, but that should not be something you brought for some marriage or some wedding purpose, right? It should be a normal one, not too gaudy to look. And yes, you can wear business apparels as well, business formals as well. Dress according to the weather, the most important thing. So as I said in my earlier point, that if you have to attend an interview in a IT industry or any sales job, you have to wear a tie. But when you're attending an interview in a blazing hot summer, I will definitely not recommend you to wear a tie, because that will definitely not go well with the weather. If you're attending interview in a winter season, please ensure that if you're wearing any kind of sweater, that should be either sleeveless sweaters or pullovers with soft colors. You should not be sitting in front of interviewer with leather jackets, all having all patches and everything all over, and jerkins and jackets kind of thing, right? So ensure that whatever dressing you wear should not be itching into the eyes of your interviewer. It should be pleasant, and most importantly, you should be able to carry that particular thing, right? Don't wear bright colors, as they might itch into the interviewer's eyes. Take easy on perfume. So it should not happen like खुशबू की दुकान जा रही है, right? So have your selection of your perfume perfectly, so that it will not irritate the interviewer. Yes, footwear matters. You have to wear formal shoes which are polished and neatly maintained. For ladies, not so high heeled sandal or something, normal sandals will do. Keep your accessories to the minimum, not most likely applicable for men, but I'm not being any gender specific. But yes, for ladies, if you're wearing any accessories, ensure that uh, a small top in your ears, uh, that's it. I mean, it should not be hanging something around your ears, and which basically don't wear anything on your body which makes you feel uncomfortable, most importantly. And second, it should not, prick into the eyes of interviewer. That's it. And I'm sorry, I myself wearing the headphone, but that's to ensure the better audio quality to you people. But while having interview, ensure that nothing should hang around your neck. So your headphone, your mobile, everything should be kept into your bag. And the very important thing, what I have not mentioned over here, but is an essential thing to mention, in a dress code, you all the time you have to wear a smile, because that is the only thing which makes you comfortable for yourself and then the interviewer. If you have a smiling face, it should not, a smiling face should not mean that you are laughing and all. A smile should be a gentle one, which makes next person feel that you are comfortable with the situation, and it also boosts up your confidence that yes, you are comfortable with the situation, right? So always wear a smile on your face, because we all like the smiling faces. We never like someone who is with always with the rotlu face and all that kind of thing. So have wear your smile all the time. Body language. Yes, the most important thing what is observed by an interviewer during any interaction with any person is your body language. Make eye contact. Don't hesitate to talk eye to eye. It should not mean that you should stare into the eyes of the interviewer, but yes, have a genuine eye contact with the individual. The second point I don't think will be applicable in this pandemic situation, but let's pray for things to get normal and we have an opportunity to shake hands. So whenever you shake hands with the interviewer, it should be firmly, confidently, because the way you shake hands with the interviewer, he judges your confidence level. If you have shaky hands and very lightly you are shaking hands with the interviewer, it will automatically give him an impression that yes, this guy is little nervous and let me encounter his nervousness brutally. Because yes, we interviewer do enjoy the sadistic pleasure of, screwing the candidates who have really poor, I would say, interview confidence. Because there are few questions which we ask at the beginning and we judge the kind of confidence that individual is having. And if we find that the person is not that confident to handle the pressure, then we enjoy it to the fullest. I might be opening some trade secrets of mine, but yes, that is the case. Sit straight and maintain a graceful posture throughout. You should not be too leaning out. You should not be sitting too relaxed, or any posture which makes you feel either submissive or adamant, right? Be straight, have your hands on the table, and use it most of the time while having your discussions. Because uh, most of the time what you speak, other than your words, your body language makes a firm impact or gives a lot of weightage to your words, right? Smile and nod wherever it is needed. I mean to say, if interviewer is saying something and he's trying to connect with you, so you have to nod your yes sir, right, or okay, and a little bit of smile kind of thing, because that will give him feeling that you are communicating. The communication is the exchange of thoughts and words between two individuals. It should not happen that interviewer is trying to tell you something, he's trying to put some message across you, and ending up with having his words in no man's land, right? So your acceptance or your responses to the interviewer's communication has to be there. As I said, as your hands are the only thing which are visible to the interviewer when you're sitting on the desk or in front of interviewer on an interview table, then use it. But it should not happen that you're using your hands like few TV anchors that nation wants to know. But still you have to use some gestures which will give a kind of impact and weightage to your words. And most importantly, the way you walk inside the interview chamber and walk out of it. So it again goes without saying that while entering into the interview chamber or interview cabin, you have to knock and seek the permission of the interviewer whether you can enter in the room. While going out from the interview, greet the interviewer, thank him for the opportunity what his or her organization has given you, and then walk gracefully out of it. Your walking should not, the confidence level in your walking out of the interview will also make a difference to the interviewer's perception about you. Uh, Again, an important thing which we most missed out about: research about the organization. When you're appearing for interview in any kind of organization, be it of any scale, be it the largest MNC in the industry or the smallest unit or the smallest one, have your research ready about the organization. This will demonstrate your enthusiasm for the opportunity presented by the employer. As your fresher, uh, opportunity for most of us as a fresher was the entry level jobs only. So, but that is very important because बूंद बूंद से सागर बनता है. So every single experience of yours will help you to get up to a certain level into the industrial domain. So when you're demonstrating when you're researching about the organization, or when you're trying to look for more information about the organization, you will get to know that what is the culture of the organization, what exactly with what philosophy and with what thought process the industry or that particular organization is working in the market, right? This will give you a fair idea about your discussions with the interviewer A, and B, it will also give a level of confidence and comfort to you, because if things goes well and you get selected into that particular organization, and after getting into that organization you get to know about certain things which are being conducted by that particular organization which you're not really comfortable with, as like I will not name some companies, but yes, there are some companies in the market who are into pharma sales and believe in bribing doctors. So if you're not a person who's uh, morally supporting all these kind of activities, you will end up frustrating at very initial stage of your career. So the research will give you background about how the industry is, how that particular organization is practicing in the market. If you're not really comfortable with those particular practices, then it's better you not step into that company, right? Secondly, when you know about the industry, you will have an opportunity to make your interviewer convinced that how your knowledge, skills, and value system, what you believe in, matches with the company which you're interviewing with, right? This will also help you to answer number of interviewers' questions, such as what do you know about the company? What do you want? Why do you want to work with us? Because uh, if I'm selling, suppose if I'm selling a product which is a life-saving drug, and I'm the sole manufacturer of that particular drug in the market, so it will give you, if you have proper research about the organization, it will give you the confidence to answer the interviewer's question that, sir, you're manufacturing this particular drug, which is a life-saving and uh, have some very importance in the medical field, and I would like to be part of this value chain. Likewise, and uh, more importantly, if you're confident about the growth pattern what organization have demonstrated in a last few years, few decades or something, right? So you have that answer ready with you when interview ask you about your career plan, or what you think, where do you see yourself in next 5 years. At that point of time you have answer ready in your mind that, sir, this organization is a growing organization from this particular level. In last 5 years organization has grown to this extent, and i I am visualizing myself to be a major contributor to this growth, and enjoy the fruits of the growth. So this research about the organization will help you to have idea about the fundamentals of the organization. And yes, again, uh, interviewer will also feel that, yes, this guy is very serious about the opportunity. He knows most of the things about my organization. Uh, and also the growth opportunities what employee is seeking, because see, as an employer, as I said earlier, as a candidate, you have to sell your candidature to the employee. At the same time, as an employee, I have to sell my organization, my working culture to talent available in the market, because it's a symbiotic relation. It's not only you who needs the job, it's me as an employer who also needs a talent who can be a part of my growth story, and who will be a booster engines for my growth story. So it's a symbiotic relation. So if I know that the next person have researched well about my organization and is in very well understanding about the things about my organization, then it's quite an interesting thing for me to have. Prepare for the basic questions. Uh, Few questions. See, uh, as an experienced candidate, you might face few questions like what you have done, what kind of machineries you have handled, or what kind of process you handled in case you are facing sales interview, then what all doctors you made, or what category of medicines they were writing and kind of thing. But as a fresher candidate, I have very limited choices available with me to question you and to judge your abilities. So I try to go with some basic but really tough questions for you, and then I try to judge you basis your answers. So I'll just read out the answers and we'll try to give you guideline about what kind of answers you may have around it. And uh, just a suggestion before we go jump into the questions and their prototype answers. Ensure that you inculcate an habit to talk to yourself at least for 5 minutes every single day. Be it mirror talking, have your selfie camera on and talk to yourself or it, but that will definitely give you an confidence and also an understanding how you appear to the next person while you're talking. If you have wrinkles around your head while talking, your facial expressions are not so great, then definitely next person is not going to enjoy it, right? He's not going to like it. So when you have that smiling face, when you talk to yourself in a mirror or selfie camera, you'll understand that yes boss, my facial expressions are going haywire, or they're not as comfortable as it has to be, or they're not making any smooth impression for the next person. So you have an opportunity to improvise it. A second and most important thing, it will boost up your confidence. When you talk to yourself, you talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, and when you keep on repeating about your strength and weaknesses, you at some point of time you are in a position to understand what exactly is lacking, and if you're ready to improvise it, you will improve it. Because we all know that, just for an example, we all know that punctuality is very important, right? uh, we all believe that we should be on time and all that things, but whether we all attend everything on time, we all are preparing everything within that time limit. So it's very important we understand everything, we know what is very well, what is not well, as an individual, as a professional. But it becomes more important to practice that thing to ensure that you are employable in the market. So self-talk is very, very important for you, for your self-development, as well as making yourself interview ready. So the first and very basic question what starts with is, can you tell me something about yourself? Again, as I said in my earlier points, we all or most of us belongs to a background where we got our basic education in a Marathi medium. So if I have to talk about myself in a Marathi, I can go for minimum 15-20 minutes without a single break, or without even hesitating, without even thinking. But if I have to do that in English, I need to work on it. So have one book ready. Keep these questions, what are frequently asked in interviews for freshers. Have your answers ready. Practice it. Because unless and until you practice, you are not in position to understand what kind of answers you are giving. Right? Ensure that whatever answer you are building around are grammatically correct. right? In a flow of conversation, most of the time we do not have that, what I would say, concentration, or that your grammar is not that finely observed. But yes, the way you speak, the way you your flow of conversation is more important. So when you're preparing about, tell me something about yourself, you should not start with, sir, I am son of farmer, and we are 5 brothers and 2 sisters, and my mother is also. See, when you're appearing for an interview is less interested about your personal background. He's more importantly want to know how you are going to be a useful asset for him to his organization, right? So giving a family background, sir, we are family of 5, my father, mother, my spouse, and 2 daughters. So we live in our own home at so and so place. I have pursued my education from so and so college, and I have got this particular degree with so and so percentage. And I'm very keenly looking to explore my opportunities in the industry where I can utilize my skills. Right? A very simple, short description about your personal background in a very short thing, and your academics. If you have achieved really something good in your academics, like you scored about 90% in your 10th, 12th, and your college topper, do mention that, because that will give more important impression to the interviewer that you are sincere and hard worker and dedicated person towards your academics. Secondly, what motivated you to choose this field of work? Again, a very tricky question wherein you have to answer why you are making this choice, right? After pharmacy, there are ample of opportunities available. I believe the next guest speaker after this particular session will be enlightening you about the same. But for me, uh, when you are answering or when you are appearing for the interview, before appearing, just introspect yourself. What kind of qualities you have? What kind of person you are? Because if I'm a person who don't want to talk much, I am not that good in conversing with the people, I'm not having a good amount of convincing skills, I'm damn bad fit for the sales industry, right? I may end up getting a, a job in some pharmaceutical organization as medical representative, but definitely my performance will not be at par at any point of time, because in a sales, you have to speak to sell your goods, right? So if you're appearing for the interview in a sales industry or for a sales role, right? Your skills, your negotiation skills, your communication skills, your convincing skills, these are the areas which will make the difference. So if you feel that you have those skills abundantly in you, so you can always say to the interviewer, sir, I have demonstrated these skills in my personal life, in as my life as a student, where I feel that, I can utilize these skills to be a successful salesperson or successful marketer for your products in the industry as well. Likewise, have a as I mentioned, you have to have a piece of paper ready with all these question and answer. On the same piece of paper, please mention your strengths and weaknesses. Work on it and try to build your answer around those strengths and weaknesses. Because if you're not aware about yourself, you will not be able to convince next person that yes, you possess that particular quality which will make you a successful professional in a particular domain of industry. The another question which talks a lot about your research about the organization and level of motivation you have for yourself is where do you see yourself in next 5 years. So don't try to push something which is extremely out of box or extremely impossible. Like I am imagining myself at the HOD position or so and so position. Yes, there are gradual steps and there are a few gifted people who climb up those ladders really fast as compared to others. But you have to be really humble about your capabilities. So after 5 years, as if you're starting your career as a fresher, so after 5 years, where do you see yourself? So, sir, see, so your answer should be like, sir, I see myself as a successful professional with enriched experience of the domain. Maybe if you're getting yourself interview in a manufacturing unit, then having enriched experience of the manufacturing processes, rather good manufacturing processes, and contributing to the highest level in the growth of the organization. So this will also, this will give impression to the interviewer that yes, you don't have any fancies in your mind that after 5 years I'll be like this and I'll be like that. You are more practical, you are more fact oriented person, and then you also keen to learn new things. You're not entering in the see the formal education may end up with your degree or diploma, but your real education starts when you step up into the industry, because there the real life gives you lessons which are very important for you. So you have to have that student kind of attitude every single day of your life to be a successful professional. Next, tell me about a challenging situation and explain how you handle it. Again, this is a tricky question because uh, as a experienced professional, I may answer this question with some experience what I had during my tenures with various organizations. But as a fresher, you have to select that challenging situation very wisely, right? Because this challenging situation may be from your personal life, maybe from your situation during your academics, situation in your social life, anywhere. Select a situation where you have handled the scenario and demonstrated a skill which is required for the interviewer or for the industry where you are being interviewed. Like if I'm getting an interview with a sales organization, right? I need to explain a situation as a fresher wherein I have shown my negotiation skills, wherein I have shown my communication skills, wherein I uh, get out of that particular challenging situation with amicable solution or win-win solution for both the parties, right? This will put up an impression to the interviewer that yes, this person have the quality to understand and analyze the situation and modify his communications accordingly, which is a foremost important thing in a sales industry, right? The next is, why should we hire you? For these questions, at least I have faced few answers which were really shockers for me, because the answer were like, sir, I belong to very poor family background, sir. My family is having so much of hope on me. My parents have taken a loan to, get me graduate and all, sir. Please give me this job. Don't beg. As I mentioned earlier, as a fresher, as a talent, you need a job. So do I need a talent from the market as an employer. So it's a symbiotic relation. Don't get into a begging or urging situation wherein, sir, please do hire me, I am very needy person and all that. No, why? You are needy person, that's not my problem, right? Your father has or your parents have incurred a lot of amount for your education, so that's not my problem, right? For me to hire you, you should possess some qualities which can help me grow my organization, which can be a fuel to the growth engine of my organization. So when I said, why should we hire you? As a fresher, you have very little experience or no experience to your back. So your answer should comprises of few things. A, your qualities you have. Qualities like, sir, I am a team player, I am a keen learner, and most importantly, sir, I believe in a learning process and improvising myself day after day. And with the opportunity given to perform, I will be a biggest asset for your organization. So this gives, so in a corporate world, in a sales area, or even in a production, rather you go anywhere in the industry, a team player, a person who is able to perform in a team, deliver in a team, is always holding a great importance, because your qualities as a team player will not only help you to perform, but it will also boost up the performance of others you're working around with, right? So mention the qualities which are most likely to get picked up by the employer. What is your biggest weakness and what is your biggest strength? So generally people try to build fancy around these questions. My biggest strength and my biggest weakness. See, though the interview is of an hour maximum or 45-30 minutes, uh, once you are in the industry, you will get exposed to your interviewer, your managers every single day, day in and day out, right? So don't give any false things into your strength and weaknesses. Be honest about it, right? If I say that, sir, I am a team player, I have to be a team player. That is my biggest strength. So in an interview, I'm boasting about my uh, qualities as a team player. And when I'm in the on my job, on my job floor, I'm not ready to accommodate anyone else around me. I'm not comfortable with anyone. I'm just fighting and getting into dispute with each and everyone around me. So definitely what I mention as my strength and what I'm demonstrating as my behavior are not going hand in hand, right? So mention the things which are really there. Weakness, if I feel so that yes, I'm lack about I would say uh, persistence. I start up. I start with the things with so much of enthusiasm, so much of zeal, and then over a period of time, my zeal and enthusiasm gets drained out, and then I just do the things for the sake of doing. Right. So that will, you know, help my manager to understand that yes, if I'm hiring this person to a particular position, I need to keep him interested in the particular job. I need to provide him different opportunities every single time wherein he feel excited about these things and get more and more engaged about his deliveries. Uh, why you want this job? The fifth question, why should we hire you, and why do you want this job? These are kind of similar questions wherein you have to answer very diplomatically and more importantly after analyzing need of the industry and more importantly your own strengths. How did you hear about the position? So this particular thing defines the source of your candidature. So if you have if you have to got information about this particular job from your friend, a job portal, or advertisement in newspaper, whatever the source is, mention about it. More importantly, if you have any reference of yours who's working in the organization, just mention that reference. That, sir, Mr. So and so who's working with your organization, I know him through some of the sources and I got to know about this particular position. Don't try to mention that how close you are with that person or how great relationship you are sharing with that person, because you are not aware about that individual's performance in the organization, where that person is being treated as what I would say, valued resource for the organization or just an asset or liability, I would say, more importantly, right? So give a small reference and get out of it. I will take few minutes of yours here to share one of very nice experience what I had about sharing your reference. So it happens that I was interviewing one of the candidate for one division who was supposed to be based out in Pune, and eventually that candidate was working very closely in a field with one of my junior, and when he mentioned to my friend that I'm going to have an interview in Fresenius Kabi and all that things, he said, "अरे भाऊ आहे तिथं आपला, टेन्शन नाही घ्यायचं, 2 मिनिटं थांब." He immediately called me up and mentioned about his candidature. I said, okay, I guess he's having an interview tomorrow, so let's see. That candidate came to me next day. We talked for about an hour or so about his achievements in the field and everything, what kind of doctors he's meeting, what was his targets, achievements, and everything. I didn't mention anything about the common reference what we had. At the end of interview, that candidate, before just signing off, that candidate asked me, sir, I believe you got call from Mr. So and so. I said, yes, he called me. Sir, we are very closely working day in, day out. We are working together and all that thing, he said. I just nodded my head and asked him to wait outside. The thing was, the reference what he has mentioned, that fellow my junior was not really a dedicated, I would say, sales employee. He was believing in working only for 2 weeks, first at the beginning of the month and at the end of the months. Fortunately, his products were very good flowing in the market. That's why he never had to worry about the sales target and everything. And for middle 2-3 weeks, his only routine for the day was to get up late in the morning, have breakfast, watch some movies, have lunch, sleep for 2-3 hours, roam around here and there, absolutely no working in the field, and which is highly unethical and highly unaccepted by any professional in the industry. Though depending on the qualities of the candidates we hired him, but later I make him understand that, look, you have given me the reference of the person and you are well aware about what kind of working he is doing, what kind of professional behavior he is demonstrating. And if you are mentioning me that you are very close friend to him and you are working day in, day out with him, it what kind of impression I might had about you, right? So be very particular about the kind of reference you are putting. As a fresher, if you're not well aware about the references who are working in the industry, please do mention references of your professors. They have seen you for 4 years, 2 years, day in and day out. They are well aware about your strengths and weaknesses. They can tell you that, okay, as a professor or as a teacher, I have observed these things within you, and I think you should go for this particular job, not this particular job, right? So have recommendation from your teacher, your faculties, rather than having it from someone else whose working behavior or working pattern is not well aware about you. Those recommendations will definitely harm you rather than help you out in a particular manner. All right. Sorry for the deviation. The next thing is what other companies you are considering for your next job. Very, very important question in terms of your understanding, your analysis of the industry. So if you are interviewing, getting interviewed in a reputed MNC, right? So you have to answer this question very tactically, because when I'm saying that, other than me, what all options are available for you, or where you see yourself as a future, or what organization you see as your prospecting employer, right? In that case, if you give some answers who are local pharma manufacturers or not so good pharma companies, then somewhere I feel that you are not valuing yourself well, because you are getting interviewed in an MNC. At the same time, you are ready to work for a local company as well. See, no job is smaller. For experience as a fresher, everything is important. But yes, again, it's always important to make next person important. Unless and until you make that fellow important, that yes, I am to a level which has a dignified position in a market, and being compared on that level only will give me uh, a satisfaction that yes, I am to a particular level. A second, importantly, uh, it also gives me confidence about your capabilities, what you see in yourself, right? If I am aware that I'm possessing these particular qualities, and I am no less than a talent which is required in top 5 MNCs of India or top 5 pharma companies in India, right? At that point of time, it gives me an impression as an interviewer that yes, boss, this talent is valued, and a person have worked really hard on his own abilities, on his capabilities, right? The next question, which we answered in a previous slide, what do you know about our company? So you have to speak about the value system around which the organization is functioning, uh, the growth what organization have demonstrated, and any exceptional thing what uh, the organization has done in the past. So it gives about your research and your affection towards the organization to seek the job. The next question, what's the one thing that you like or dislike about our company? It's again a tricky question, because all what we have seen till the time we join the organization is the external impression and the things what you know from the market, right? So here you have to answer very diplomatically, wherein you have to mention about any what I would say social initiative being taken care by the organization, any CSR activity or something. Or if you know someone who's working in the organization for a long while and have enjoyed benefits of the organization, say like mediclaim benefits or any insurance facilities or any other facilities being offered by the organization to its employees. You can mention those things, sir. I have my senior or I have my so and so reference working in your organization for so and so. He experienced very good support of you as an organization during his hard times, and I like this particular thing about your organization, that you're standing rock solid behind your employees in their difficult times. Again, a dislike about the things, uh, I would suggest that you should simply go like, sir, I have not come across any kind of negative remarks about your organization, and as I'm aspiring you as one of my employer, so sorry, so there is nothing to dislike about the organization, right? The next question is, what expectation do you have from your first job? Well, uh, none of us will work for charity. We all work for that single SMS which beeps around 30th or first week of any salary day, right? But other than salary, what importantly you're looking for is it should be like, sir, I'm looking uh, my expectation from my first job is it should enrich me as a professional. It should give me explore, it should give me an opportunity to explore my strengths, my capabilities, which can be beneficial to the organization, and at the same time help me develop myself as a professional. You are offering your services to the organization in an extent that uh, you're ready to contribute for the growth of the organization. At the same time, you have this thing in your mind that this is a symbiotic relation, that if I'm growing, then and then only I'll be able to contribute to the organization's growth, right? So having this awareness in your mind at very early stage will give a good impression to your interviewer. Why do you want to work for our company? Again, a tricky questions which we discussed in earlier stages. So uh, the prospectus what you had from the organization, the good things you heard about the organization, company's employee centric policies and all that thing, and more importantly growth and learning opportunities available for you. See, at the very early stage of your career, at least for first 5 6 years, learning should be your central agenda for seeking any kind of job opportunity, right? If you have well developed skills, if you have well developed capabilities in you, after 5 6 years you can get any kind of job with any amount of compensation, right? But if you have limited skill sets developed during first 5 6 years of your career, then that will not help you to sustain and grow in a later stage of your career. So ensure that whatever opportunities you are choosing at very early stage of your career has to have ample of learning opportunities in it. Unless and until there are, uh, you know, hard days for you at the early stage, you're not enjoying, leisures at the later stage of your career. Okay. Do you have a referral in our company? I discuss about the reference in the early stage. Just ensure that you will just touch about the referral, if any, that okay, Mr. So and so or Miss So and so working in your organization is known to me by some reference. Few companies, again, the policy related conflict, what might arise in this particular thing. Many companies have this policy that they do not hire uh, someone who's into direct blood relation. Like suppose if I'm working from Fresenius today, so at the same point of time, my real brother, sister, real first cousins, my father, mother, spouse, my real children cannot be in-laws and all cannot be into the employment of Fresenius Kabi, right? So have a fair idea about that policy of the organization before you appear for the interview. And if by any chance you have that thing, please disclose at very early stage. Because I have seen cases where employee or the candidate have deliberately hide those particular details that okay, my brother is working in other division in other state, but they have not mentioned it. And when it was brought to our notice, both of them have to suffer from job loss, right? So if organization is having any kind of policy around employment in relationship, do mention that at very early stage. This will help you uh, have some bad impression on your employer, a. And second most important thing is it will not cost a job to a near and dear one who's already working in the organization. Are you willing to relocate? Uh, I believe that you should answer this question very uh, honestly, because if you're not willing to relocate uh, and just for the sake of getting a job, you mentioned that, yes, sir, I'm ready to relocate anywhere in India or anywhere in Maharashtra, or for that matter, anywhere in that particular state where you're being interviewed. And then when, as per organization's need, they transport you to some different headquarter or different location. At that point, if your struggle begins, then that will definitely not give a good impression to your interviewer or your employer. If you have some family constraints which are not allowing you to relocate from a particular state or particular area, do mention that thing upfrontly to your employer that, boss, I have these particular constraints for my relocation. As and when needed, I may go and come back for 15-20 days or assignment basis, but a permanent relocation or relocation for a longer period will be a challenge for me. Will you be willing to change your work profile if project demands so in the future? Uh, it's highly, I would say, tempting questions which I generally ask for many during my many interaction with fresher, not even for fresher, even for experienced candidates. See, the thing is that your willingness to learn new things, if you're mentioning in your resume and preaching about your keenness to learn new things throughout your interview, you have to answer this question as yes. And not only answer as a yes, you have to behave likewise. Because if we have to grow uh, on a, what I would say, uh, higher hierarchies in organizational uh, charts, you have to have demonstrated your ability to perform in a different role, and more importantly have understood basics of different functions which are operating in the organization. Let me share another example of my junior who's currently working as a packaging head for GSK in Nashik. uh, I believe he is a holding experience of 8 odd years, but the kind of acceleration he got during that particular period is very important. He pursued his M Pharmacy and started his career in RA. But from RA till packaging, he smoothly make himself comfortable into every role what is being offered or what is demanded by the organization. Last few years, organization wanted him to operate from Mumbai and handling the supply chain operations. He accepted that opportunity, accepted that challenge, went there, operated well, demonstrated that his capabilities to do well, to perform in any kind of situation and any kind of role. He has been given higher opportunities to perform as a head for packaging division at his native place. If being a pharmacy M.Pharm student or M.Pharm, he was very bright candidate during his academics. So being a M.Pharm student, he would have easily said that, boss, me being M.Pharm, I have nothing to do with supply chain. Why I should be, talking about truckload and shipments and warehouse and everything? That is none of my job. I should be either into quality, manufacturing, formulation, anything but the supply chain. He might have said that particular thing, but with grabbing this particular opportunity, he has made his candidature very strong for the next level. So 10 years down the line, if organization is thinking of putting him as a head of production or head of plant, they are very well aware about his capabilities of handling the supply chain operations as well. And more importantly, his flexibility to fit into any role and perform there. Right? So most important thing to be in the industry, to survive in the industry, and to grow in the industry is your flexibility and ability, and more importantly, willingness to learn new things. Are you open to working in shifts? If you are getting interviewed in some kind of KPO or manufacturing units, you have to answer these questions. And your answer again depends on your own physical capabilities. Like if you're not uh, really comfortable working in night shifts, then you should probably mention the same, that okay, I might work in first and second shift, but definitely not a good fit for the night shifts, because for a week I'll be discharging my duties in a night shift, and probably next entire week I'll be admitted in the hospital due to imbalance of my health, if that is an issue with you. So understand your physical capabilities. If you are doing well and ready to work in flexible shifts, mention so. If not, then also mention the things upfront at the time of interview only. And the last question which is being asked by most of the interviewers is, do you have any questions for me? Most of the time, most of the candidates make a basic mistake that they directly start, sir, what will be my compensation? What will be my salary? As I mentioned, it is very important factor, and we all work for the salaries what we are getting. But your eagerness should be, as a fresher at least, it should be more towards the learning opportunities, learning curves, growth opportunities available in the organization for you, rather than compensation being offered by the organization. Right? So yes, at least for first 2-3 questions, like, sir, what will be my learning opportunities? Uh, what will be my career path? What you are foresighting for this particular position? Or uh, uh, what other opportunities we can explore in the organization, right? As you are fresher, you and your friends are also looking for some opportunities, so you may also offer candidature of some other people, right, of your friends, of your colleagues. I would not say colleagues, your friends and other students who are looking for an opportunity. So you can always say to your interviewer that, sir, yes, are there any other opportunities available in the organization? Because my friends who are passed along with me, they are passed out along with me, so they are also looking for opportunities. So if I can refer them, you as an employer, will that be okay? So this kind of thing will uh, help to put your character as a person with the social awareness, as a person with uh, as a team player personality. Also, your keenness about the learning opportunities available in the organization, right? So with this, I believe I've taken enough of your time, and I'm open for questions. So please do let me know if I could be helped in any manner to answer your questions. I believe I was audible
So the
throughout the
session is
time.
open for your questions. Students, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Any question?
I believe there are only two scenarios when you don't have questions. A, whatever you say, everything is being understood by the audience, or nothing is understood by the audience.
Well, I think your presentation was so nice, sir. When you explained so many things in in a smooth manner. I think right from the how to enter the interview cabin, what kind of dress code you should have, and most important, the last slide. I mean, everybody should have taken the screenshot of that slide, sir. What kind of questions they will ask and how to answer them. I mean, that
Right,
was the core of this entire session, I think.
right, right.
That might be the reason. That's why they don't have any questions.
I believe so. I believe so. And uh, I guess
Yes, Nashikar. Yes, somebody has raised his hand.
yes, Mr. Nashikkar, I believe.
Yes, yes.
If you have any challenge in connecting through voice or something, you can also put up into the chat box as well.
No, I'm making the arrangement, sir. Just a minute.
Right.
Just a minute. Yes, Nashikar, you can ask.
Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're very much audible.
So, first of all, good morning. And my question for you was that how shall we select the specialization for MPharm, and how shall we identify that what skill set we will need for job purposes?
Uh, the most importantly, as I said, your choice of your specialization uh, should be dependent on the skill set what you possess as an individual, right? I believe when I was pursuing my B pharmacy, I opted for both SET at at that point of time. There was SET as an entrance exam for your pharmacy admissions, and I've appeared for both SET as well as CET for my MBA. But when I interacted with my faculties, when I interacted with my seniors, when I interacted with my uh, friends who are studying along with me, from all of them, I somehow got an impression that by choosing an opportunity of M pharmacy, if I have to get into the field of research or something, the kind of persistence and patience which are required to be successful in that field, they are somehow and somewhere lacking in me, and I don't feel ashamed to admit that thing. On other hand, I was possessing some good skills of communication and interacting with people, which are being demonstrated throughout my student life, and they pushed me to, you should go for MBA, wherein by being part of management you will be a successful professional. Likewise, uh, uh, Raj, have your skills analyzed first, right? Talk to your faculties, talk to your friend, try to understand what kind of skill set you are possessing. If you are more oriented towards the research based kind of job, and who are not more likely to go for people interaction kind of thing, then yes, definitely go for M pharmacy with a good specialization, right? If you're people oriented person, if you're more interested in interacting with people, trying to make them understand few things, and likewise, so I think sales job or any management job will be a preferable thing for you. So for that thing, you might choose an option of MBA for that. uh, I believe I have answered your question, or was that useful, Raj?
It must be, sir.
Sir, I have
So
a
I think there are
question.
no further questions. Okay, okay, okay.
Sir, as you said, for interview we have to be confident. So my question
Mhm.
is ki right from the first year, how can by what things we can do to build a confidence, to be confident at interview?
See, mock interviews will definitely help you develop your interviewing skills, right? Uh, your communication has to be flawless. Have, you have that clarity of thoughts in your mind before you sit in front of your interviewer, right? So for that thing, as I mentioned, you have to build your vocabulary first. You have to learn how to construct your sentences right in English, right from your mind, right? And more importantly, the self talk, talking to the mirror or talking in a selfie camera is most important thing. The way you talk to yourself will define the way you talk to others. If you're not confident in while talking to yourself, right, you observe yourself, have a mirror which is a full size mirror wherein you can see yourself from uh, toe to hair, and talk to yourself. You get to know what kind of impression you are making on the next person, right? More importantly, to improvise your fluency and your communication skills and vocabulary, this particular trick was given to us by our seniors, and we followed it to an extent, that to improvise your communication skills, have your headphone, and watch some really good English movies without having subtitles. Try to understand the way they communicate. See, the flow with which you are speaking is more important rather than your accent. It's not always necessary that you should speak into some kind of UK or US accent, but it has to have a natural flow, right? So there are multiple ways to improvise your communication skills, and if your communication skills are developed, they are well equipped, you are ultimately end up having good confidence levels to face the interviewers. And as a student at the initial stages, you can always do the things like, uh, if you have someone in your friend circle, in your class, who's having really commendable communication skills. Again, I am a very core appreciator of communicating in your mother tongue, but somehow to sustain in the industry you have to have a fluent communication skills in English. So for that thing, please pick up a person who's having commendable communication skills in English. Make that fellow sit in front of you, and let that person ask you a few questions, and try to develop your answers around it. That will definitely help you to boost up your confidence levels. And when some tricky questions asked by interviewer in a real interview or reality world, you, somewhere in back of your mind, you have answers ready, and you will end up giving confident answers.
Okay, sir. And if we started a group discussion, means about the
Mhm.
studies, it can be also useful for boosting our confidence, right, sir?
Yes, definitely, definitely. See, group discussions are quite important thing, because that will, uh, as I mentioned, in many industries or many organizations, there are several levels or several steps of interview, wherein you have to go for personal interview, you have to go for GD, you have to go for aptitude test and everything. So in a group discussion, when you are doing that into your peer level, into your with your friends and everything, you will initially you will feel confident to put up your things. You know that, if you are committing any mistake, if you are making any mistake while communicating or while delivering your thoughts, they're not going to laugh at you first. They're not going to judge you by the way you are communicating, right? But they will definitely help you to understand that, okay, Vaishnavi, you said this particular thing while discussing, but it has to be put up into this particular way, right? And most importantly, for a group discussion, the things what being observed by the panel is: A, how confidently you put up the things; B, the way you encourage others to speak up; and C, the way you're listening to them, right? So in a group discussion, your character is not important only as a speaker, but it has to be as a listener as well, right? So having group discussions amongst your friends in uh, with the people who are well aware about your background, and you are well aware about their background as well, at the initial stages will definitely help you to boost up your confidence levels.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
So I have my last question.
Yes, Raj, please.
So what are the skill set required for research and development purpose if you want to go for further research studies?
See, as I mentioned, persistence and a higher level of what I would say, commitment, and patience. Because for me, in a sales or in a particular thing, my time period to put up my efforts and getting the results deliver is very short, right? But for research kind of thing, you have to work on a particular thing with lot of patience and with lot of persistence without knowing the end result. That might be a failure, that might be a success, right? So if you have to be a successful researcher, then your persistence, patience, and ability to get into the details of the things is more important, is what I believe.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, sir, if there is a question related to your hobbies, and it is okay to
Tejal, I'm
tell them
sorry, you're not
kinds of
audible.
hobbies unrelated to your field. Uh,
Sorry,
Sir,
Tejal,
now I'm
I'm
audible.
yes, please.
Sir, if their question related to your hobbies, is it okay to
Hmm.
tell them kinds of hobbies unrelated to your field, or interviewer should get distracted by such answers?
No, see, if your hobbies, uh, that should be a very small answer, I believe, right? Because your hobbies are something which are not going to be part of your job profile, right? If you have hobbies like mehendi or something, that is definitely not going to add up your value as an candidate or as a employee. So mention that thing in a brief, in a short. Okay, other than this thing, I have a hobby of mehendi and all that thing. That's it. But if any of your hobby is really going to make difference and put up a value uh, as a employee, or adding a value to your employability, as like Raj is looking forward to pursue his career as a scientist. So when he has to face this particular question, his answer should be, sir, other than this thing, I like to read scientific novels, I like to uh, read scientific journals wherein research papers are published. So reading is my hobby, and I'm reading what is related to my field, what is adding to my qualities as an employee. So depending on what hobbies you are mentioning, will give you the things. So if your hobbies are complementing the job role, then mention those hobbies in a detail and how they are complementing the job requirement. If your hobbies are not, then just keep answer very short and move to the next question. Because but the most important thing, the honest answer is very important, right? Just for the sake of answering, if I'm mentioning that yes sir, my hobby is reading and I do read various scientific novels, if interviewer get back to you and ask question that okay, what kind of scientific novels you have uh, you read, or who's your favorite novelist, and what novels you have read. So, and if you have really not done anything to that particular area, you might end up in creating bad impression.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir. Thank you.
if your hobby are in relation with the job profile, do mention that thing as your hobby with full swing. If not, then just mention and move to the next question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I just quickly mention the takeaways from this session. It was
Yes,
excellent,
I can
excellent
I can
session,
ask
sir. Okay, who's this?
I can ask the question, sir. Kawalkar.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, in interview, how to tackle with question which we don't know?
Just like, so suppose, see, as a fresher, you will be facing interviews with the questions which are more related to your academics, with more related to the technical questions. And if you don't know answer to a particular thing, my honest suggestion is just mention that, sir, I'm not, though I have studied, at this point of time I'm not uh, able to answer you this question, I'm not confident about the confident about it. That's it. Don't try to make up the things, and don't try to give any false answer, or try to push things which you're not aware about, because that's pure gamble. If you are able to answer that question as per the expectation of interviewer, it's good for you. But if not, then that may cost you an opportunity, that may cost you losing that particular job. So my sincere suggestion, if you're not aware about any particular thing, just mention that, sir, though, and if it is related to your curriculum or something, sir, though I have studied it at this point of time, I'm not confident to answer you. I may put more efforts on it, and maybe answer you next time.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just I will mention the quick takeaways from this session, that every student has to work on his vocabulary, on his time management, and on his body language, because these are the three, I think. So I mean, you can just
Perfect, it is.
correct me if I'm some missing something. That these are the some few things which has to be your part of your daily routine, because these on these things we cannot improve just in a week or two before interview. So if we make the habit and start working on these so few important things, it will be very beneficial for you on the day of interview, because preparation of an interview cannot be done in a week or two if these things are not part of your life daily routine. So uh, I thank Mr. Jagtap sir for his valuable time. I think more than 2 hours I think we are spending. I mean, we are very thankful to him and answering to all the questions from the students and giving him his valuable time, spending his valuable time with us. And we are, I mean, just because of this pandemic, we are virtually meeting, sir. But in future, I would like to conduct a whole day, a workshop, and so that students can interact with you. We can arrange mock interviews also. So with this note and a future promise, I stop here, and with your permission, I would say that this first session of today's workshop is over.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to interact with students. Uh, Rather, a few months before, I had very long discussion with Atul sir, wherein he mentioned about interaction with students and all, and uh, I was most promisingly looking for having one-to-one interaction in my physical presence, because virtual things, how, means the level of convenience is different
Yes.
altogether, but the kind of experience what you deliver with your physical presence is different only. And
Yes.
once again, Thank you for giving me an opportunity, and it's an honor for me to be part of this sessions. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So in the second session, I request all the students use the same link and join 5 minutes before for the second session at 1 p.m. So it's better to join at 12:55. Okay. So I will stop this session here. So we will meet at exactly after 1 hour on the same link.